This
concept.
conference will now be recorded.
I hope you all of you good with the content that we completed it. Like I'm talking about the Azure AD and on-premises AD. We completed the part of Azure AD Join, Azure AD Connect, and also we did the part of MFA, how to configure multi-factor authentication and setup of SSPR service. I hope everything is okay. That's why I'm going to move ourselves to next topic, and which is really important for everyone because I'm going to help you to understand about how to manage and how to configure compute services. You know that the meaning of compute means in this module we will discuss core related to the virtual machines management, and we'll try to understand about how we can host the web server, how we can host the web server using Azure application services. So before that, if you have any single doubt or question related to the topics that we completed, please let me know. Anyone? Any doubt, any question? No problem. So I'm going to proceed with our Azure compute services. So in case of compute services, as you know that n number of options are available, right? Under the compute resources, you will find multiple options. Let me show you how it's look like, how compute services look like. Open your Azure portal, and in the Azure portal, we are able to find one option called compute services or compute resources. With the help of compute services, we are able to manage lots of things. We are able to manage and control lots of things. See, this is the compute panel. Under the compute, we are able to find virtual machine. Virtual machine is set, app services, batch, account, function app, containers, and disk management, dedicated host, workspace, application group. Multiple options are available in compute services. Our responsibility to cover the topic related to the administrator. So I'm going to help you to understand about how many method we have, how many way we have to set up our virtual machine over a Azure portal. So as you know that every organization need to establish their own server. So we have a various way to set up our server. You can proceed with on premises, means directly physical machine you can use for the server installation. You can proceed with virtualization, means with the help of VMware, Citrix, or with the help of hypervisor we are able to configure the environment. And one more point just wanted to add related to the virtual machine, we have another option called compute with the help of Azure portal, AWS portal. Multiple resources, multiple cloud providers are available, and these cloud providers are responsible to set up our infrastructure, set up the infrastructure for uh, various organization, you can say that. So let me help you how many method we have to create the virtual machine. Our agenda to understand Azure compute services, right? This is our agenda. And in case of Azure compute services, we are able to find various method. We have a various method or various way to set up the virtual machine. Let me guide you. Like as we have a on demand. The first one is related to on demand. Second, you can proceed with reservation. I'm talking about the method. Those method can help you to create the virtual machines. Number third, dedicated, and last one is related to VMSS, right? So we can say that we have a four different method to set up virtual machine, right? We have a four different method to set up virtual machine: on demand, reservation, and dedicated instance or dedicated virtual machine. And last one is correlated to the virtual machine skill set, VMSS. Our responsibility to know about the actual usage of these types of virtual machines, means why we need to set up our on demand, in which case we need to proceed and create our virtual machine using on demand. Second option, why we need to proceed, why organization prefer to set up their virtual machine with the help of dedication, means dedicated. And last one is virtual machine skill set. So I'm going to help you to understand about each and every points related to the method. Those method can help us to establish our virtual machine for any organization. This is our agenda basically. On demand, as per the name suggests, Azure will never give you any single discount if you proceed with on demand, because the reason of it is correlated to the pay as you use, right? It's a correlated to pay as per your usage. For example, you proceeded and create one virtual machine with configuration of 4 gig RAM and 2 core of processor and with 100 gig of hard drive, right? The configuration you have to pay up to, for example, you have to pay up to $55 per month. So it's based on the hourly basis. If you turn on your virtual machine up to 15 days, it means that you just need to pay up to 24.5 26 100 $26 per 15 days. It will charge you on hourly basis. Azure will never give you any single discount in case of on demand virtual machine, but it's really popular for testing purpose. If you want to test how virtual machine can work, so you can proceed with on demand. It is used for the training purpose, means you wanted to learn about the virtual machine configuration, how to configure VM, and what are the options are available under the virtual machine, so you can proceed with the on demand. Second is correlated to the reservation. As per the name suggests, the meaning of reservation, we have option to proceed and create our virtual machine with the help of reservation. So in case of reservation, you must need to purchase your virtual machine for long term, like minimum 1 year. You can proceed and purchase for 3 years and 5 years. So you can say that it's a term that you need to use to purchase your virtual machine from Azure portal. Second option, we have a two different method to pay the amount. One is upfront payment, and second is correlated to the EMI, means we are able to pay the amount in monthly basis as well. So both options are available, means we can pay the entire amount on single installment, or we are able to pay the in pay the uh, bill as per monthly basis. Second, in case of upfront payment, Azure will provide you up to 25% to 65%, between 25 to 65% of discount. If you're ready to pay in, you can say that monthly basis, you are planning to pay the amount on monthly basis, then Azure will give you 15% to 45% flat discount. Now question, why we need to proceed, why we need to create virtual machine with the help of reservation option? So for example, you are planning to host your website, you are planning to establish your database, or you wanted to run application server or game server using Azure portal. So definitely you must need to proceed with reservation, because they give you kind of a special support with reserve virtual machine. And you know that it's really good for every, you can say that for business perspective, because you have to pay the amount and you will get your virtual machine for entire year or entire 3 years or for 5 years. So if you want to host your web server, if you want to establish your web server, or planning to set up your SQL server or any kind of database, it's not mandatory. Or if you are planning to establish your application server, you wanted to run with the help of virtual machine, you wanted to create your virtual machine for any business, that time you must need to proceed and create virtual machine using the option of reservation. Let's talk about dedicated instance or dedicated VM. It's really costly in comparison of other instances, because the dedicated VM is correlated to private cloud. You can say that it's correlated to the private cloud, because what happened in case of dedicate, if we talk about, I think we have already discussed, every virtual machine like on demand reservation and VMSS, these virtual machines are stored in backend host. These virtual machine is stored by the backend host, and the backend host are shared host. Consider as a shared host means a single host managed by multiple, single host contain multiple account based virtual machine. If you wanted to set up your own host, like you wanted to establish your virtual machine by using dedicated host, it means that it's correlated to the private cloud, means no one can access your backend host. The backend host specially designed for your virtual machine, means the backend host, whenever we proceed with dedicated instance or dedicated virtual machine, Azure will establish a special hardware for your account directly. Now let's talk about VMSS. As per the name suggests, the meaning of VMSS is virtual machine, right? Virtual machine scale set. Basically, the usage of VMSS, the work of virtual machine scale set, is correlated to if you want to create bulk VMs. Bulk VM in the sense you are planning to create one VM to 1000 virtual machine on single click. With the help of virtual machine scale set, we are able to create up to 1000 virtual machine on single click. Now, in other words, we can say that the VMSS can provide us a cluster, and entire instances are available in cluster. That's why we are able to make a changes with our virtual machine on single click. You wanted to add a hard drive to multiple computer, so we can do that. Next, the another part, if we talk about the another features of VMSS, I hope you all of you know about the auto scaling, right? The VMSS service can help us to set up auto scaling, and it is applicable. It will also provide us option to configure load balancer. So both options are available in the properties of virtual machine scale set. So everyone, we have a four different method. These four different method can help us to set up our infrastructure, set up our virtual machine for any organization. This is the theoretical part. Please let me know if you have any single question related to on demand VM, reservation VM, dedicated instance, or virtual machine scale set. Any question, any doubt? Is that okay, guys? About the virtual machines management, means the method, those method can help us to set up our virtual machine, to create our virtual machine. Like as per your requirement, you can proceed with on demand. You are planning to set up your own dedicated environment or infrastructure, then we have option to purchase our virtual machine, and virtual machine directly associated with the physical hardware, and no one can access your physical hardware if you want to, if you proceed to create your virtual machine using on demand, dedicated, sorry. Done, everything is okay, so let's proceed for practical, because you know that we should know about the each and every point related to the virtual machines management. So I'm going to start with on demand. Once we complete the part of on demand, we'll move ourselves to reservation, then dedicated, then VMSS. Because as a administrator, as your administrator, we should know about we should know about how we can set up and configure virtual machines directly using Azure portal. So I'm going to start with on demand. Like let me show you the procedure or step to create virtual machine using on demand, right? Back to Azure portal, and as you know that, okay, what is virtual machine and its usage? Okay, let me help you to understand about what is virtual machine and its uses. For example, you know that we are using desktop, very basic understanding, right? We are using desktop. In case of desktop, we are able to find keyboard, mouse, and you know that system unit, monitor, multiple devices, or you can say that multiple, the collection of multiple peripherals or devices considered as a computer. This is our computer. And you know that everything is our physical format. Everything's are in the physical format. Mouse, you can touch your mouse, you can replace your mouse, modify your mouse, or modify the monitor. We have another option, we are able to use laptop, right? In case of laptop, you know that the combination of entire peripherals built in a single um, hardware, you can say that no need to connect any additional keyboard or additional separate monitor, separate mouse or keyboard. Everything built in the single hardware. But the common thing in computer and laptop, both machines can contain operating system. Windows operating system, it may be Windows based operating system, or Mac based operating system, right? Or maybe Linux based operating system. The OS, the operating system of our computer, considered as a collection of multiple software, collection of multiple application called operating system. But these all are considered as a physical machine. Physical machine in the sense we are able to touch it, we are able to modify our physical machine. Now question, what is virtual machine? The meaning of virtual machine, as per the name suggests, the meaning of virtual machine is correlated to whenever we set up high configuration of system, like with 1 TB of RAM and up to 5 TB of HDD and Core i7 processor with 10th generation Core i7 processors CPU. Now, this is high configuration and you wanted to use your high configuration with the help of multiple VMs. The VMs meaning virtual machine. Virtual machine, you can say that we are unable to touch it, but it works just like a computer. This is the part of our high configuration of physical computer considered as a virtual machine. By using the single hardware, we are able to create Windows 10 based virtual machine, Windows 11 based virtual machine. You wanted to set up a virtual machine based on Linux, we can do that. So virtual machine is a type of computer. It's a type of computer, but in the format of virtual, not in physical format. Is that clear about the virtual machine? Means Azure portal can give us option to create VM and access through your on-premises computer. With the help of Azure portal, we are able to create virtual machine and access through your local computer by using public IP address. I'm going to show you, then you will understand properly about how uh, virtual machine can work and the actual usage of VM. Is that clear? Great. So let's move ourselves to practical. Over Azure portal, we are able to find compute. Just need to click compute, go to the virtual machine. And whenever we proceed and create VM using the virtual machine icon, it means that you are trying to create on demand computer. You are trying to purchase on demand virtual machines. So select create. We have a multiple option: Azure Virtual Machine, Azure Virtual Machine with preset configuration, Azure Arch Virtual Machine, and Azure VMware Solution Virtual Machine. Means four, again we are able to find four different options. I'm going to start from the basic. Just select first option, Azure VM. Yes, we are planning to set up our VM with the help of Azure Virtual Machine. Click on Azure Virtual Machine. It will redirect you on page of virtual machines creation. Okay, it is in progress. Give me 1 minute, guys. Let me check my internet speed. Okay, fine. So once you proceed to create your virtual machine, you will get the option like this: basic information, disk information, networking, management, monitoring, advanced, tag, review, and create. We must need to provide the information in the basic panel. The first option is subscription. So you must need to select your subscription like free trial, pay as you go, MSDN. The subscription that you have, you just need to select. The second option is correlated to the resource group. As we discussed, guys, the meaning of the work of, you can say that resource group, the work of resource group, it's a type of container, right? And with the help of container, we are able to segregate our resources according to the client. So I'm going to create our on container, means we can Azure AG104, right? So I'm going to create one resource group. This is our resource group. I wanted to create new. Type the virtual machine name. I'm going to proceed with web. We know that in case of Azure, we have a two different method. Means there are two different types of um, uh, we have a two different way to identify our data center. One is region and another is zone. So we should know about the difference between region and zone. As we discussed before, whenever we click on the region, it will provide you multiple information about the multiple zones. In US, we are able to find East US, East US 2, South Central US, West US 2, West US 3, right? So the location of physical data center considered as a zone, and the collection of zone considered as a region. So I'm going to create our virtual machine in location of central US, and we are able to find another option is related to the availability option. I don't want to create failover because the availability option can help you to set up our failover services. Under the security type, we are able to find two different options to proceed and create our virtual machine. Standard, it's a basic security. Trusted launch virtual machine means generation 2 based virtual machine. The meaning of generation 2 based virtual machine, it means that it will protect your VM from means it will protect our virtual machine from uh, viruses. So, but you have to pay the additional amount in case of security. If you proceed with trusted launch virtual machine, it means that you have to pay the additional amount. Another option, image is correlated to the operating system type. Whenever we click on this particular icon, it will provide you multiple operating system details like Ubuntu, SUSE Linux, Windows Server 2022, Windows Server 2019, 2016, Windows 10, Windows 11. Multiple operating systems are available, right? So I wanted to create our virtual machine by selecting the image of Windows Server 2016 Data Center 64-bit Generation 2. No need to do anything. Decide the configuration. It's mandatory for us. We must need to select the configuration and make sure you are able to create your virtual machine in selected location, because what happens sometime they not allow us to create our virtual machine in few geographical location. So let me verify. Click on all size. In M series, we are able to find very high configuration based VM, like this is CPU core, RAM 5700 gig RAM, and data disk 64 different data disks you will find, temporary storage 4 TB, and the cost for this particular virtual machine is really high. So I don't want to proceed with that. Let me check with the small configuration based VM, like 2 core processor, 8 gig, 218 gig of RAM. No, it's also too high. So I think in central US, I'm unable to create our virtual machine. Now, this is in other sites, yes, we are able to find few VMs. Yeah. So we are able to find few virtual machine. This is CPU core and RAM. So I wanted to create our virtual machine with 4 gig of RAM and uh, 2 core of processor. Just need to select, but unfortunately it's not allowed for us. So let me change the location. Change the location. I wanted to proceed with any different geographical location. Type virtual machine name and select the location. So I wanted to create in West US 3. Let me check the hardware configuration for this location. Yeah, we have an option to create this VM in West US 3 with 2 core of processor and 8 gig of RAM. No need to do anything. Let me select. Type the username and password. We have a two different methods. So select operating system first. I wanted to create virtual machine based on server 2016 with same configuration, not 8 gig. I wanted to proceed with the 3.5 gig of RAM. Provide username and password. Provide username and password. 3389, it's a type of that port, logical port, that help us to access our virtual machine from outside the network, right? With the help of you can say that 3389 port, we are able to access our instances from any geographical location. So I'm going to proceed with the same logical port 3389. No need to make any changes. Click next. By default, whenever we create our virtual machine, it will provide us an option to add a hard drive, but by default the hard disk available with the capacity of 30 gig and 127 gig of hard drive. No need to make any changes because we will add our hard drive once our virtual machine is ready to use. Networking, no need to make any changes in networking because we are using a default virtual machine, so proceed with default vnet. Next, and proceed with review and create. Just need to click review and create. It will verify, and it will give us option to create virtual machine. Now click create and wait for a few seconds, few minutes. It is in progress. Meanwhile, please let me know if you have any question about the virtual machine. It will take time because it's fully based on the virtual machines management. We should wait. It is in progress. So guys, we just need to wait. Once our virtual machine is ready to use, we will access our VM from different location. Now our VM is ready to use. Let's try to access our virtual machine with the help of RDP tool or with the help of Microsoft Remote Desktop. So we have a both option to connect our virtual machine. Like we just need to click, go to resource, and we are able to find multiple options are available in virtual machines properties. Like We are able to find connect, start, restart, stop, capture, delete, refresh, open in mobile, feedback, CLI and PS. CLI and PS is basically command line interface and PowerShell. The status of our virtual machine is running. This is our virtual machine name, web group, and operating system type Windows. The configuration of VM is 3.5 gig of memory. Pay as you go is our subscription. We haven't configured any DNS services. If you want to connect your virtual machine, we just need to click connect. It will give us three different method to connect, like with the help of RDP 3389, using SSH protocol, using Bastion, we are able to connect our VM. I'm going to proceed with download RDP. Using RDP tool, we are able to connect our virtual machines. Just need to click here, provide the username and password. So our username is web and password that you configure while creating your virtual machine. I'm going to click continue. Again, continue to access your virtual machine. Now it is in progress. We are trying to access our virtual machine. Fine. We are able to access our Windows Server 2016. Not only me, if you want to access the virtual machine, right? If you wanted to access the virtual machine, you are able to access it. If you want to access what you need to do, open your system. If you are using Windows machine, just type Windows plus R, execute the command, means Windows plus R, open CMD, and in CMD you need to type mstse, and then mstse will redirect you on page of you can say that page of remote desktop protocol, and then type the public IP address, use username web and password that I used cloud at 123456. So you can also try to access my virtual machine that I created over a Azure portal. So worldwide, from anywhere, we are able to access our VM with the help of our Azure portal. This is virtual machine. It's not a physical. Your laptop is physical, your desktop computer is physical, your server is physical computer, but the with the help of RDP, the machines that we are accessing consider as a virtual machine. Anyone, can you please try to access my virtual machine and let me know if you're able to access it and perform few tasks? Just try to access my VM and create one folder on desktop, and after that I'll access it.
Okay, so do you mind repeating how to access it again? You gave us the IP address and you gave us some other information.
Yeah, you can please try to access it.
Okay, yeah. So what I was asking is, we take that IP address and put it in a web browser. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sorry, can you please repeat again?
Yeah, I was asking if we take that IP address and just put it in the web browser. Is that what you were saying?
No, not through web browser, not using web browser. If you are using Windows machine, can you please confirm? Windows or Mac?
Yes, yes, I'm using Windows.
Okay, okay. Let me help you how you can access my virtual machine. So to access any virtual machine, not any virtual machine that we created over Azure portal. For example, this is our Windows computer. So what you need to do if you want to access the virtual machine through the Windows machine, window plus R, you just need to type window plus R and type MSD and SC. You just need to type in run and then click OK. It will redirect you on page of remote desktop connection. And in this particular panel, please type the IP address, right? And then click connect. It will ask you related to user ID and password. So please provide your username and password, then try to access. Please try to access and let me know.
Yeah, I was able to access it. You had an application already up on this.
You are able to access it, right?
Yes.
Great. Anyone, you can just create a one folder on desktop with your name. Let me try to access and see the changes that you did. Okay, class AG104. Great. Fine. So everyone, I hope you understand about the concept of virtual machine, the meaning of virtual machine. We don't have any physical infrastructure. We are able to access with the help of just public IP address, user ID, and password. So by using the credential and public IP address, we are able to access our virtual machine from any location. This is first step to understand about VM. Let's talk more about the virtual machines management. So I'm going to help you how we can configure and manage the infrastructure. You wanted to create a Mac operating system based VM, or you wanted to access virtual machine using Mac? Because uh, the virtual machines creation is based on the browser. No matter you are using Mac, Linux, or Windows machine, you just need to open browser and open portal.azure.com, right? We just need to create, open our Azure portal, access virtual machine using, okay, fine. So what you need to do, if you want to access your virtual machine using Mac, like I'm also using Mac and I'm able to access my virtual machine. But what you need to do in this case, you need to download one tool. This is the tool, Microsoft Remote Desktop. Open App Store. It's absolutely free. No need to pay any amount for this particular tool, Microsoft Remote Desktop tool. Search, type search, Remote Desktop. It will give you n number of tools related to the. You can say that by using these tools, we are able to access any virtual machine from any location. See, this is Microsoft Remote Desktop. It's free, no need to pay any amount. Just need to click here and download it. Download and install on premises. Once you install, it look like this. Like I have already used it to connect. Then what you need to do, we just need to click connect and then the RDP. Select RDP icon and click download RDP. Once you download, just need to click here and open the downloaded file. This is RDP file. It will automatically redirect you on page of username and password. Just need to provide username and password of your virtual machine. Click continue and access your VM like this. Like this. This is the way to access our virtual machine using, you can say that in using Mac operating system, we are able to access by using this particular method. Is that okay? Now, fine. Let's proceed for the another point. Means the another thing that we need to perform with our virtual machine. It's mandatory for us. Resource group. You can put any name in your resource group, right? Like you just need to type your name as a resource group, company name as a resource group. Resource group. It's just a kind of container which is responsible to contain our resources. Those resources you wanted to purchase. You can okay, let me check the link. You just need to open App Store. See, in Mac machine you will find one option. uh this is App Store. Just need to click on App Store. It will open another page like this. This is the App Store panel. Click on search, type remote desktop and hit enter. And just need to open it, right? Microsoft Desktop. Is that okay to download the remote desktop for Mac machine? Now, by using the application store, app store in Mac machine, we are able to download any tool, especially like as a virtual machines, remote desktop for virtual machines. So let me help you. What are the next topic that we need to cover in case of virtual machines management? We successfully created a VM, but our responsibility to configure our virtual machines. We should know about the method how to configure Azure VM, right? The next topic is configure Azure virtual machines. This is our agenda. So in case of configure virtual machine, what are the points that we need to know? For example, we establish our virtual machine based on Windows or Linux, any kind of operating system that you choose. Windows Server 2016. And now let me help you to understand about the configuration. The first step to configure in our virtual machine, which is really important for us, we need to configure uh, NSG, which is really important for us. Second option, we need to configure disk, like as a adding disk, removing disk, and modify the disk. Number third, how to reset the virtual machine password. Reset password. Next, troubleshoot the virtual machine. Troubleshoot the virtual machine. And next, we also need to know about how we can configure the backup of virtual machine. Then we'll try to understand about feature of disaster recovery. These all are the points that we need to cover in case of virtual machines management. This is the configuration panel. I'm going to help you to understand about each and every point, because if you really want to control or manage the virtual machines management, you wanted to manage your virtual machine, so you should know about how we can perform these tasks. Let me start from the very basic. The first option is correlated to NSG, Network Security Group, and after that we'll discuss about the virtual machine. Is that clear, guys? We successfully created virtual machine, on demand based virtual machine, and we are trying to configure our virtual machines property. What are some of basic questions they might ask during interview? Okay. We'll give you the list of questions related to the interview, especially based on the virtual machines management. So in case of virtual machine, I have already mentioned NSG, disk reset password, troubleshoot virtual machine if anyone unable to access the RDP of virtual machine. What are the procedure? What are the steps that we need to use to resolve the issues related to the RDP error? We should know about the backup because it's our responsibility how to protect our Azure virtual machine. Disaster recovery will create another copy of our virtual machine and put it into the different geographical location, right? So these options can help us to manage and maintain our Azure virtual machine, right? So that's why we should know about the implementation process, means our how we can implement these services with our Azure virtual machines. So let's talk about it, how we can perform the task. Start with the network security group, right? Start with NSG. So NSG is basically network security group. For example, this is our virtual machine that we created. The virtual machine contain Windows server, right? We created our virtual machine based on Windows Server 2016. Everything is okay. Virtual machine contain one feature called NSG, or you can say that it's a network security group, right? It's a network security group. Now, question, what is network security group? It's mandatory for us. We must need to know about the usage of network security group. Basically, the network security group can contain two important features. One is inbound and another is outbound, right? The network security group contain two important features, inbound and outbound. Or in other word, you can say that NSG is, right? NSG is type of virtual firewall, okay? NSG is type of virtual firewall that help us to manage inbound and outbound signal. This is the agenda. This is the actual usage of, you can say that network security group. This is the work of NSG. This is the work of network security group. And we should know about the usage. We should know about how we can utilize in real environment. So before we start implementation process, just wanted to ask guys, what is inbound and outbound, and how many logical ports are available in our computer? Because you know that if your device is connected with the internet, right? If you connected your any device, it may be computer, mobile phone, any other network device that connected with internet. So it means that device contain multiple logical ports, because with the help of logical ports we are able to send a data or receive a data. Only with the help of NSG, only with the help of you can say that uh, network security group or logical ports, we are able to manage, we are able to uh, transfer the data, or we are able to receive the data. So let me guide you to understand about the concept of inbound and outbound services. Okay, guys. So before we start, can we take a small break? Just take a 10-minute break and then resume our session.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we are trying to understand about the concept of network security group. So let me show you how network security group features added with our virtual machine. So to manage the virtual machines, NSG open our VMs properties that we created. To open our virtual machine, select more services. In more services, we are able to find one option called compute, and then click virtual machines. See the web virtual machine that we created, just need to click here and it will provide you n number of options are available that we have already discussed about the basic options that are available in our virtual machines dashboard. This is the VM dashboard. In the VM dashboard, we are able to find multiple things like as a status of virtual machine, location of virtual machine, and public IP address of our VM. So what you need to do, just need to click on networking because the networking feature contain network security group option or NSG. Few more points we will add like as how we can fix the public IP address, private IP address, and all. So this is NSG basically. This is network security group, inbound, outbound, application security group, and load balancing group. Four different options are available in our networking option of virtual machine. It's our responsibility. We should know about the work of NSG. This is web NSG. Contain inbound, contain outbound, contain application security group, and load balancer. But unfortunately, we haven't set up any kind of application security group and load balancer. So that's why we need to know about the usage of inbound and outbound. In the inbound, let's start with inbound. In the inbound, we are able to find one option is priority, second is name, third is port, fourth number protocols, source, destination, and action, right? So first option priority 300, the name of your protocol RDP, port number for RDP 3389, types of protocol TCP, source any, destination any, and action allow. It means that your RDP port for virtual machine is allow, and the meaning of source any and destination any means anyone can access this particular virtual machine from entire world. Machine must need to connect it with internet. If you want to connect this virtual machine using public IP address, your system must be connected with the internet and type the public IP address in MSTSC, and then we are able to access our VM from any geographical location, right? So inbound, the usage of inbound is basically if you want to access your VM from outside the network, you must need to set up logical ports in inbound. If you want to access your virtual machine from outside the network, we are able to access, we must need to configure inbound services. So let me try to help you to understand about with the help of diagram of NSG. Like see, inbound and outbound both are a part of network security group. Each and every port, right, each and every port contain 65,000, yes, 65,535 logical port, right? The number of ports are available 65,535. Not entire, each and every I'm talking about the inbound contains 65,535 logical port, and outbound also contain a 65,535 logical ports, right? Now question, how we can recognize the logical ports can perform the task? As we know very well about, we have some protocols. Let me give you a few examples related to the protocols. We have few protocols, and the protocols contain logical ports number, right? Logical ports number as well. Everyone, just allow me 1 minute, please. Yeah, sure. So in case of our logical ports, like as we should know about few examples related to the logical ports and protocols. So I have a list of some protocols like that HTTP, HTTPS, DNS, DHCP, and that SSH. We have a telnet, right? And another protocols like as SQL, RDP, right? N number of examples, we have n number of examples, but we should know about the logical ports for these protocol, because each and every protocols directly connected with logical port number 80 port number 80 for HTTP, port number 443 for HTTPS, port number 53 for DNS, 67 and 68 for DSCP, SSH 22, Telnet 23, and SQL 1433, and RDP 3389, right? So these all are the logical ports, and as we discussed, total 65,535 logical ports are available. Logical ports are available, but from 65,535 logical ports, 10,000 ports are reserved. 10,000 ports are reserved, right? Remaining 65,535 ports you can use as per your requirement. But now question again, what is inbound and outbound? The main question, how we can utilize inbound and outbound practically. So let me give you one example. Like we created one virtual machine over Azure portal, and you know that every virtual machine and physical machine contain two important features. One is inbound, right? And another is outbound. So it's our responsibility. We should know about the gap between inbound and outbound. Both contain 65,535 logical port, 65,535 logical ports in outbound, 65,535 logical ports in inbound as well. Now, for example, the virtual machine contain two different IP address. One is public IP address and another is private IP address. This is the public IP address 20.10.15.42. For example, this is the public IP address of our virtual machine. And you wanted to access your virtual machine from different geographical location. You wanted to access your virtual machine from different geographical location. For example, this is your local computer. This is our local PC. And local PC is connected to the internet. The local PC is connected to internet. Now what you need to do, you wanted to access your virtual machine through the local computer, local PC. So what you need to do, you must need to activate port number 3389 in inbound side. It's a RDP. You need to access, you need to allow the port number 3389 in inbound side. Then you are able to access through on premises machine. Then you are able to access from on premises. This is the actual usage of inbound. Inbound in the sense you wanted to share the access your of your virtual machine from outside. Let's talk about outbound. For example, you know that we have n number of web server. We have a Google. We know that we are able to access Facebook. We establish means we have option to open Gmail account or Yahoo Mail account, because these all are the servers which are available in different geographical location. If you wanted to access Google through your virtual machine or Facebook using your virtual machine, you must need to allow port number 80 and 443, because the port number 80 responsible to manage HTTP protocol and port number 443 responsible to manage HTTPS, right? These two protocols manage the web browser. Whenever we open any website using web browser, then HTTP and HTTPS come into the picture. By using these two different protocols, we are able to access any website in our computer. Not each and every port number, but yes, up to 8 to 10 different common logical port that you must need to know. The common logical ports are, I have already mentioned, but you must need to know about. Maybe they ask you question, can you please help me to understand about the logical port number of SSH, logical port number for SQL server, logical port number for DNS, logical port number for RDP. So these all are common logical ports. These all are common logical ports that help us to access our resources from outside the network. So it's mandatory. Please take the screenshot of uh, protocols and logical port number. Definitely, in case of Azure interview, they will ask you question related to the logical port number for a selected protocols, not 65,000. But at least you must need to know about the logical port number for at least 10 to 15 common protocols. Is that clear? So for practical purpose, let me prove it. Let me give you the live practical example of NSG, means how NSG can work in real environment, how NSG can perform the task in real environment. Everything is okay. I don't think we are able to find any logical port number with ATR 443. We haven't added any logical port in our inbound rules, right? So what you need to do, I'm going to configure, this is our virtual machine that we created. I'm going to install internet information services, right? Click start button and open server manager wizard. This is server manager wizard. Click add role and features and click next, 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 and you need to install one role. The role name is IIS, Internet Information Services. I hope you everyone know about the usage of IIS. So Internet Information Services is responsible to host the website. So I'm going to click on web server IIS, select the internet information services. I'm planning to host one HTTP website. I'm planning to host one HTML website with the help of IIS. Select web server IIS. Next, 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 and install it. Wait for installation. Okay, installation is in progress. Wait for a few seconds. Once internet information services installed successfully, we will proceed for the another point, means we'll create a one dummy website and we'll try to access our dummy website from outside the network, right? So installation is in progress. Now it's completed. I'm just going to close the wizard and open this PC. Oh, okay. So what you need to do, once you install the internet information services, open this PC, C drive, and we are able to find one option intpub www root and select IIS, right click and open with notepad, right? We just need to open with notepad. make few changes in our existing website. So I'm going to type this is test website for NSG testing. Okay, this is test website for NSG testing, network security group testing. Save the configuration, save the changes that we wanted to see in our dummy website. Now we successfully make a changes with our website. I wanted to verify how it's look like if you want to access the website. So I'm just going to open it, and it will look like wait, it will look like this, right? We are able to find this is test website something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the public IP address of this machine. This is test website for NSG. Let me share the public IP address of our virtual machine, copy the public IP address and share with everyone. Guys, you just need to copy the public IP address and paste on any browser and let me know the impact. Are you able to access the website or not? Simple. Please let me know if you're able to access the website. You just need to copy the public IP address and paste on any browser. Are you able to access website? No, only because we haven't added the port number 80 and port number 443 in inbound, right? Because you are distributing the service. So in case of sharing the service with other people, sharing the service to worldwide, right? What you need to do, you need to add inbound logical port. You know that if you want to access the website, not only with the help of public IP address, if you want to access Google, Facebook, Yahoo Mail, or any kind of website, we must need to open browser, and by default it will pick HTTP. Is that correct? So HTTP or HTTPS is a type of protocols. Those protocols can help us to provide the access of any website. So I'm going to make few changes. Back to Azure portal. Please try to refresh the page. I'm going to select networking. This is our virtual machines properties. Click networking. In networking, we are able to find inbound and outbound. So we are trying to understand about the inbound now. Select inbound and we are unable to find any ports based on 33443R port number 80. Click add inbound rule. Multiple options available. I wanted to allow it for everyone. Source target everyone and destination everyone. This is the custom service. In the custom service, select HTTP and make sure it's allow, right? Port number 80, I wanted to allow it for everyone. Click add. It is in progress. We must need to wait for a few more seconds. Done. We successfully added the port number 80, right? We successfully added port number 80 in our what we can say that virtual machines property. Everyone, please try to refresh the page by using the public IP address and let me know if you are able to access the website. Please refresh the same IP address that I shared with you. I hope everyone able to access the website. So it means that it works just like a virtual firewall, right? It works just like a firewall, virtual firewall. You are owner of your portal. You are owner of a portal's virtual machines properties as well. I am a customer, I am a client, and you are responsible to distribute the virtual machine to me. As a customer, I don't know about which types of port activated in the backend of virtual machine. Like I'm planning to host my SQL server to worldwide. I installed SQL server, I configured SQL server, but unfortunately, no one can access my SQL from on premises, right? Everything is okay, your virtual machine is running properly, your operating system is fine, you are using a very good high configuration based machine, and you successfully install the SQL server, but unfortunately no one can access your virtual machine's SQL. So it means that what you need to do, you need to verify the port number 1433 is added in our inbound port or not. These types of troubleshooting you must need to identify by self, because you know that if anyone unable to access the service from your virtual machine, it means that it's a core issues related to the inbound and outbound services. Everyone please confirm if you're able to understand about the importance of inbound and outbound protocols, which is really important for us for administrators to understand about the concept how it work. Is that clear? Cool. Now we completed the part of inbound. Let's take a one example of outbound as well. Means we should know about how outbound service can work, right? So to understand about the outbound service, what you need to do, you just need to open your virtual machines. Let me move ourselves to the virtual machine. And in virtual machine, open server manager wizard, and let me turn off the enhanced security, and let's open Google. Right, I'm trying to open any website using our Azure virtual machines that we created, right? So let me check, are we able to open Google or not? Yes, we are able to open it. Let me access microsoft.com. We are able to access any website now. We are able to access any website, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Gmail, any kind of website you are able to access. It means that the outbound port is successfully allowed for port number 80 and 443. I don't want to provide the access of any website on our virtual machine. So what you need to do as the administrator, you have a full rights. So I'm going to block the access of port number 80 and 443. Open NSG. Under the networking part, we are able to find the inbound and outbound. So let me proceed with outbound. Select add. By default, in case of inbound, every protocol 65,535 logical ports are allowed for everyone, right? But I wanted to block two ports for identification. For testing purpose, I wanted to block two logical ports. Click add outbound and select port number 80. I wanted to make it deny. port number 80, deny. Click add inbound again, sorry, outbound again. And this time I wanted to block the access of HTTPS. Also deny. Now let me open our virtual machine again and try to access any website. Let me open Google again. This page can't be displayed. It means that you are unable to open any website because you successfully blocked the access of port number 80 and port number 443. Right? If you want to deny the access of any website for any client, you just need to open Azure Virtual Machines properties, select outbound, and in outbound, we just need to block the access of port number 80 and port number 443. Is that clear, guys? Please confirm if you're able to understand about the concept of inbound and outbound services. Okay, everyone. So I hope you all of you are able to understand about the concept of inbound, outbound creation of virtual machine. Now, please, we'll connect on Tuesday, right, and discuss about the practical part. So, guys, please ready with your own Azure portal because you are responsible for Tuesday session. I'll give you task and your responsibility to share your screen and show us the steps to set up virtual machine or configure Active Directory or manage storage. Is that okay? I'll definitely I'll share. Actually, the capacity of ISO image it's too high, so I'm going to check. I think it's uploaded successfully, so I'm going to share with the Google Drive link. Thank you so much, guys. We'll connect on Tuesday morning for my morning and your evening and discuss about the lab session. It's a type of lab practical session. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.